Let's test some junk. So what I've got around here is 14 machines that I'm told don't have any hard drives in them, so don't expect anything fantastic, but I'm going to test them and we'll see precisely what of it still works. I'm personally holding out for this and this, surprisingly enough, that I'm excited to work, but we'll get to that very soon. So we're going to start with the oldest computer here. This is a Dell, I think it's an Inspiron 8600. It's very, very dirty, as you can see. Jeez, that is nasty. I think this is broken. Maybe it's just wobbly. This key is worn out. It don't look good. Don't look good at all. But despite all of its gross disgustingness, I'm going to plug it into power on camera. So here's a 65-watt Dell power lead. If it blows up, it blows up. Extra bit of content. Nothing happened. Or at least nothing visual happened. Also, nothing electrical seemed to have. Oh, hello. A light just came on. I think the battery might be dead. Right there. Got a bit of a lighting problem here. Let's get rid of the sun. Right, it's... Oh, it's powering on. There we go. Dell 8600 series. Nice. Oh, cool. So in that case, we've got another fully functional XP Dell system in the collection. Very nice. This one's got little media buttons down the side, so if I clean this up, I mean, I won't be able to make this button look any better, but I can certainly get rid of all the keyboard grime. Maybe I can find a key on an old broken keyboard somewhere. Yeah, of course it hasn't got a hard drive in it. But we can go into the BIOS and actually see the specs. So here's what we're dealing with. This is a Pentium M, 1.4 gigahertz, pretty low end. This has got 2 gigabytes of RAM, 2048. That's a lot of RAM for an XP machine. That's cool. We've also got an NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200 graphics card. I wasn't expecting that either. That's actually a lot better than it was. 15-inch panel, Sigmatel audio, all the other crap no one really cares about. That's the service tag. I don't really care about that. Yeah, obviously BIOS battery's dead. It's got the old school sort of Dell BIOS. You have to use Alt-P to change pages with. It's boot order, post configuration. Battery? No, I refuse to believe that. How's the battery working? I stand corrected. The battery actually works. That's super cool. Okay, nice. Yeah, not gonna fault that at all. It's not really else. Yeah, battery, the thing goes down. Yeah, so that is the Dell 8600. It seems to be fully functional. I might stick a hard drive in it at some point, play around with it. And yeah, just to prove there is no drives there. They ripped it out. But one thing that always annoys me with old laptops is when people take the drives out, they tend to lose the disk caddy that they came in, and this was very, very kindly retained. So thank you, whoever did that. And please, can people do this more often? Just take the drive out of the caddy. It takes no more than 2 minutes. Anyway, that is the Dell. We're going to move on to the next machine in the list. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the next machine. This is a really cool one from a brand I quite like. Everyone knows me for Sony Vaio products, but I do like these as well. This is an Advent 7078. Again, it's disgusting. It needs a really good clean. I'm going to need a really good clean after this. It's really cool. I kind of like the little compact design. Intel Pentium M processor again. That's sort of the specs. I don't know how much of this is true. The drive obviously isn't real because there isn't one in there. 512 meg DDR. What else? 64 megs memory. Another thing that's quite cool is this. It's got a little adjustable little webcam up top. I haven't seen that since like Chromebooks. Right, I'm going to plug it in to power, which is over here at the back. Hopefully nothing goes bang. If it does, you'll know about it. Oh, wow, got my nail stuck in something. Alright, no explosions. That's a good sign. A little blue light's come on down here as well. Yeah. So, yeah, without further ado, let's power it up, see what happens. I'm not expecting it to do anything. It's baking, it's a good sign. Hello, Intel Centrino, American Megatrends. Yay. Okay, so this boots up as well. Screen's a bit yellow. It doesn't come across on camera, but in real life it is really, really yellow. So, we've got an Intel Pentium M processor at 1.60 gigahertz. We've got a Matsushita DVD-ROM drive. I was going to BIOS. System memory size 504 megs. Yeah, like most advents, the fan comes on immediately. That's weird. 504 megs is a weird value. Advanced settings, just quick boot, quiet boot, legacy, all that stuff is enabled. Boot sector virus protection. Because yes, boot sector viruses was still a thing in 2004. X'd out. Yeah, the boot, it can boot off network. But that's not really what we're here for. Battery calibration, that's interesting. For battery learning only. Very, very weird. And one thing I'm curious about as well is I'm not too sure if the battery is going to hold a charge, but we're going to do the battery test. Is the battery going to stay on? Oh my god, it does. It's low. The battery is very low. It's screaming at me, but it works. The battery holds a charge on this as well. This is weird. For XP computers, generally speaking, they don't last very long on the battery, if at all. They tend to just turn off immediately. Okay, but that's pretty cool. The fan's really ramping up in this. It might need a repaste. A lot of these probably will. But I'll definitely get repasting to that when I can. It's got an interesting selection of ports on the side, of course. If I rotate it around. We've got a modem, VGA, Ethernet, little PCMCA, and 1394 Firewire, which is pretty cool. Nothing on the back except for a Kensington and power. And then on the other side, you get 3 USBs and a DVD drive with a little blue light on the side. I've never seen one with a blue light. Usually it's green. But yeah, that 1.3 megapixel webcam is going to be very crustaceous. Obviously it's going to be very low quality. Speakers are in the monitor down there. Got a bunch of little web buttons. You got P for summoning Peter Parker, I guess. You got the email button, the I for information button if you're ever wanting information. That's basically that's like the Gemini Copilot key of 2004. You press the button for information. And then we have I don't know what that one is. Delta Wi-Fi? Yeah, you press that button and the Wi-Fi goes to Delta P and it will eradicate everyone else's connections so that you get all of the connections in at once. That's what that button does. Yeah, other than that, all the keys I think work. I haven't obviously tested it too deeply. Again, no hard drive, but we'll put a drive in there and we'll get this going at some point. I'm very excited about this machine. Annoyingly, the XP stickers and things have worn off. This is a very heavily used and abused laptop, but we're going to look after it now. It's in the sanctuary, so we're going to make sure it's cared for with the other machines. You may have also noticed the giant stack of computers up there. Don't worry about those. Those are being moved on. I don't want to recycle any of them, but they will be given to people. I think one I will recycle though, because it's falling to pieces, and I don't think anyone wants any of the bits out of it. So I'll nick the RAM, nick the hard drive, and we will put that in a more deserving computer. But that's it for the Advent machine. At the moment, we are going to move on to the next oldest machine in the bunch, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. None of these had leads, so I had to fish out a power lead. Now, I think we all know what this machine is. Yes, this is a Sony Vaio, my favourite type of computer ever. I think I have more Vaios in the collection than anything else. I think they're up there with the ThinkPads. I've got quite a few ThinkPads. But I do have, well, yeah, an exceptional amount of Dells. I think just Dell is just everywhere. So, this is a Sony Vaio VGN FE31H. That's a mouthful, but it is down there. You can see the specs. Core 2 Duo T5500, so a massive step up from what we're used to. Processor, what have we got there? Speed step, 1GB Go DDR2 SD RAM. I could probably upgrade that to 4 because that's DDR2. 120 gigabytes SSD. What are we talking about? This is 2005. They don't exist. Hard drive. 802.11 ABG Wi-Fi in typical Sony fashion because it's got everything. 54-inch WXGA LCD. DVD RAM drive. NVIDIA GeForce Go 7400. Now, those are a bit of a touchy subject because, I mean, they do fail, but they don't fail. I mean, they're part of a dodgy batch, as most NVIDIA chips of this generation are, but I don't think they actually get hot enough to die, unless they're obviously abused and mistreated. Now, this computer was used until very recently, I'm told, so it might still work. Windows Media Center Edition 2005 Windows XP, which will be interesting to look at. Obviously, this doesn't have that because there's no drive. I'll just quickly cover this up because it's someone's BT router credentials. Designed for XP, Vista capable. I would never put Vista on this. I'm sorry, I don't trust it. And a Centrino Duo wireless system. It is also DLNA certified. Graphics by NVIDIA, Sony. Or ANOS, if you look at it upside down. This, you probably noticed the giant crack. This was dropped on its corner. I didn't drop it, because why would I drop it? I am a very careful person. Yeah, and as such, it is. I think it's mangled quite a few things. I think the DVD drive's busted as well. Hopefully the screen isn't cracked, because Sony screens have been very hard to find. Overview of the ports real quick. We've got, I think this is PCMCIA, probably card bus. No, it is PCMCIA. Very, very cool. We've also got this, which I'm pretty sure is, yeah, that's those little weird PC cards that you find in the older MacBooks. iLink, or 1394, because Sony calls it a different thing. 3 USBs, S-Video out, which is pretty interesting, and VGA, and of course the very annoying Sony power plug. So without further ado, let's plug in this stupid weird little thing in here. It's got one of those weird little plastic clasps, but I think it's designed to fit the curvature of most Sony machines. No, I don't think it is. Very, very weird charging design. Maybe I need to find a different lead? Nah, there we go, it fits. That'll do, just remind me not to close the lid with that on. It did blow up immediately, but I'm not seeing any signs of life from the battery at least. Is the charger plugged in? Is it on? Yeah, charger's on. Nah, screw it. Oh, hello. Is it going to do... There's something in the disk drive. There is something in the disk drive, that's weird. Hey! Oh, nice! It's got the chime. Now that immediately makes it one of the greatest Vaios of all time. It also turns on and posts, which means the graphics isn't cooked. Even better. Yeah, there is something in the DVD drive. What's it trying to load? What is it trying to load? What is going on? What are you doing? Operating system not found. A blank CD. Nice. We'll use that to our advantage another day. I'll leave that in the drive for now. I'm going to just quickly reboot the machine and see what we have in the BIOS. It's just a Phoenix BIOS, so it's nothing overly fancy. This has a camera as well, a Sony Motion Eye. Yeah, there's the information. 1 gig of RAM, which I think, yeah, that is the base spec, what it comes with. Yeah, Veo animation is enabled, all that good stuff. There's the boot order. It does have a shutdown option as well, which saves me hitting the power button, so that's nice. Yeah, so that is the Veo VGN FE31H. I am a huge fan of this machine. It'll definitely get all the loving that it deserves. It'll be repasted, get a new drive. It's going to get all of what we need. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to unplug this, and I'm going to move on to the next machine, which will be slightly newer. Alright, so the next computer on our batch is a Mac. This is a MacBook Pro. This one is a... oh goodness. It's an A1226, so it's one of the 15-inch MacBook Pros. I believe this one has a Core 2 Duo in it. It's quite a posh one. Obviously these don't have a BIOS, so I can't actually give you the specs. But I suppose A1226 is general enough. Now, I went fishing around for a power lead, and unfortunately all I could find was this. But thankfully the gods of e-waste have provided, and I have one of these. So I'll just plug this into there. There we go. I can now power it properly off the mains. Hopefully we don't blow anything up. The charger looks incredibly frayed, so it may not even work. But this is like the only 85 watt MagSafe one I've got. So please don't blow my MacBook up. Oh, we've got a green light. I think Macs automatically start when they're connected to power, so I probably don't have to power it on. I'm going to do it anyway. Hello? Unplug and replug. Try it the other way around. Yeah. Oh, very, very interesting. This does nothing at all. I'm going to try a different power lead real quick, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. This is a 60 watt power lead. Should still work. It's not massively power hungry, and it's only a 15 inch. I have a 17 inch one of these somewhere, and I know for a fact that needs the bigger lead. So here goes nothing, I guess. Yeah, we're getting the green light, which means the SMC is healthy, but I'm not getting any white lights down here at all. Press and hold power. Something? Anything? Nope. No, I think this one is dead. That's unfortunate. I guess maybe we can try and have a look at it in the future, see if we can repair it in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I think for now this one is completely and utterly dead. There's nothing we can do. So, yep. I'm gonna put this away then. We'll come back to it later. But yeah, first fail of the entire bunch. Yeah, a dead A1226. Hopefully not all of these are dead. Moving on. Right, here's another machine. This one is also a Mac. This one is an A1150 MacBook Pro, also a 15 inch. This one's got a very stiff display latch. Will I even be able to open the thing? Come on. Maybe all its life it's been stacked under things, and the latch just doesn't want to release. This one's got a battery in it, unlike the previous. Don't think it holds a charge. No, of course it doesn't. Right, I'm going to wrestle around with this display latch. 2 seconds. Okay, I managed. Got it open. Yeah, one of the latches up top here is stuck, so that's wonderful. I think these just flop around, so I think one of them is just wedged in there. It smells like basement, or garage. Very, very, very heavy aroma of I've been abandoned for 3 years, maybe longer. Alright, let's plug in our 60-watt MagSafe lead. See if anything happens. Now that's a good sign. The drive's making things. It's made a chime, we've got a screen. Now, I do have a Mac debug USB thing, which tells me the specs of things. No, I'm not too sure precisely which Mac this is, A1150. I don't know what graphics card it has in it either, because I know these had either the 8600M GT by Nvidia, or it also had the option of something else. What is it? It was an ATI Radeon X1600, which I believe those unfortunately are prone to failure. But then again, both of them are. But the Nvidia was the only one to release, to receive a hardware upgrade, so that the chips don't die. And they are generally quite reliable. A patched 8600M is basically bulletproof. X1600s, unfortunately, all die. I have a XPS M2010, as you all know, and that unfortunately has I think it has a dead GPU. I think the motherboard's actually dead in it. But they have 1800 Radeons, and they also fail. Because they just get too hot, and the computer is not really designed, really. I mean, it's a beautiful ergonomic chassis, but it's just that they were just faultily manufactured, and the machines weren't really that forgiving for the heat. But yeah, all this is going to do is just display this cursor, because I pressed and held the Alt key down. I haven't got a USB to really test in it. I don't know where that diagnostic stick is. Yeah, I don't know. But the fact that I'm getting a screen, I'm not getting any graphic artifacts, generally just means this is okay, which I'm quite happy about. So I'm going to take the base off and see if it does actually have a little feature that these sometimes have, which is a way you can tell these are patched or not. Alright, so I've ripped the base off this, and unfortunately, this is not the unit I thought it was. Some of these have a green sticker on the memory modules, which generally indicates it's had the video card changed by the factory, Apple refurbished. So this has either got an AMD chip, or it's been unpatched and it's running on borrowed time, or it's been fixed by a third party, in which case I will never know. It does have OEM Apple memory and an OEM battery. This is an original MacBook Pro 15-inch battery, so that's cool. Yeah, but it works for now, so I'll throw it back together and move on to the next machine. So we have come full circle, and we're back to another Dell machine. This one is a Vostro 1720. Now, if I remember correctly, this is... I believe my friend gave this to me. Yes, it did. Yes, he did. This is outfit. Yeah, some of these have come from various different places. I realise this one isn't part of the original boatload. This does have a hard drive in it, but it is being erased by request of the previous owner. So this is a Vostro 1720. It's a Core 2 Duo machine, so we have jumped into the Windows 7 era. Very early Windows 7 era. Yeah, it's a Dell machine, not really more I can say about it. I've also mentioned I haven't tested the battery in the Sony or the Mac. I think the Mac's batteries had it anyways, because I'm pretty sure it started expanding when I took it out. So that's unfortunate. So we've got a Core 2 Duo T6670 at 2.20 gigahertz. We've got 320 gig Seagate hard drive. We've also got 3 gigs of RAM, which is a bit of a strange combination to have. But I've got plenty of DDR2 locking around, so I'll probably try and not really max it out, but sort of adjust it. But because it's DDR2, it's going to be a bit of a strange layout. But because I can probably run 64-bit stuff on here, I can maybe go higher than 4 gig. Other than that, It's got a lot of stuff, because it's actually quite a well thingy Dell machine. It's not a Latitude by any means, but it's got all this. Which, yeah, like most Dell machines have. Keyboard click. What is that? I don't know what keyboard click does. Maybe one of you will be able to tell me. Yeah, other than that, it's just your average bog standard Dell machine. Nothing really to write home about, but because it's a friend's sort of gift to me, it deserves a bit more love. It's in very, very nice condition. The previous owner has clearly taken a lot of care with it. Like even the keyboard. I mean, there's some light wear on the keys, but you know you'd expect that with any machine. But yeah, everything else is just so nice. It's in such good shape compared to some other stuff that I've worked on in my life. This is like the cream of the crop. This is like almost factory showroom condition. So I think I'm pretty much done with this machine now. I'm going to quickly test the battery because I haven't done that in the last few machines. Yeah, of course, battery works a treat, like you would. Let's have a look at the port selection, which I also haven't done on the MacBooks. We've got the hard switch for the wireless. We've got, what have we got? 3094 Firewire. We've got 2 USBs, DVD multi-rewriter drive. Very nice. On the front, we've got your audio jacks and your multi-memory card reader. On the other side, we've got the express card slot, another USB, another 3 USBs, and the exhaust vent. Another 4 USBs, might I mention. Yeah, it's got quite a few ports, and the power jack, of course. On the back, you've got your Ethernet and your video out, and a whole bunch of nothing. Except most of this is the battery. It is an enormous battery. But it is a 17-inch laptop, so expect a gigantic battery. So yeah, this is a really good machine. It's in really nice shape. It's a bit of a cheat, considering this isn't part of the original batch, but I figured I wanted to show it off. So, you're welcome. So, we're kind of done with this machine now, so I'll put it away and I'll move on to the next machine. So, we are creeping into the Windows 7 era. Okay, so the next machine here is another Dell. I've already plugged it in, and the blue lights come on, so it's not dead. This is also a Dell Vostro, except this one is a Dell Vostro... I don't know. It's an unknown Dell Vostro. This is a Windows 7 era machine, also Core 2 Duo, so we're still in the early Vista era. This one's not in the greatest of conditions, but it's still a lot better than the first 2 machines we looked at, and that MacBook. But yeah, I'm going to try powering it on. It's a Vostro 1015. Of course, it has got a hard drive in it, because, well, it wouldn't. It's got the newer Dell BIOS with the clickable menus. Right, so what we got? We've got 4096 megabytes of RAM. We've got it's DDR2, so we've got 4 gigs of memory. This is our processor. It's a Core 2 Duo T5570 to 10 GHz. DVDRW Intel GM45 graphics. Yeah, nothing fancy or spectacular. It really is just a basic consumer grade laptop, the sort of thing you'd find in Currys. That's the rest of the stuff. You've got your 15-inch panel, XGA, with 32 megs of video memory, our native resolution, 1366 by 768. Not a bad resolution. Yeah, quite an alright machine. I was originally going to throw this one out, but I kind of like it. The design, it looks very, very posh, very fancy. So I might end up keeping this one for a little bit longer. Not as long as I intend to keep the 1710. But this one gives me memories, because I'm pretty sure we used these in secondary school. In the construction room, they had Dell Vostros instead of the HP G6. They're not G6s, were they? It was some sort of weird HP thing, a grey HP basic thing. Not sure, it was an i5, Windows 7. Obviously, these were all running 10 at the time. But yeah, we had these Vostros, so this is quite nice. I now have my own version of one of those. So I'm quite happy about that. Nothing wrong with this. So I'm going to move on to the next machine. I will be right back. Right, next machine is very small. This is a Samsung Ultrabook. Windows 7, Core i5. It's tiny. Yeah, this is a really cute little laptop. I think the hinges are actually broken in this, and the casing's the only thing holding it together. Here's the port selection on the side. You've obviously got your HDMI, your sound, foldable Ethernet, USB 3.0. Another display out? That's like a mini HDMI. Why do you have two HDMIs? It's very interesting. Rotating to the other side, you've got your SD card and two USBs. Now this takes a very weird power lead, but I did some digging, and I found the right one, I believe. Not too sure if this is the correct one. No, this is the wrong lead. I might have to go digging further. I'm pretty sure I've got a lead for this. I'm going to quickly check if the battery has any juice in it. It does not. So we may not actually have to power. We may not be able to power this one up. This is a 2nd gen, I believe, Intel processor. But I will go see if I can find a power lead. Huzzah! I have found one. Yeah, see, I truly have a power cord for everything. So let's plug this in. Do we gain any life? We do. We've got a little green light down the bottom. Power it on. Okay, got a blue power light. Oh, it's got a screen for 2 seconds. Hello? Are you alive? Oh, Samsung. Yay. That's a new Samsung logo. I'm not familiar with that BIOS. I have a older Samsung laptop somewhere at R7 something. And it has that stripy screen that I'm very used to. See the boot menu, it's not going to do anything. I'm going to reboot, spam the BIOS, get into the BIOS. There we go, here's our BIOS. So, my bad, it's a 3rd gen CPU. This is an i5 3317U, clocked at 1.7 GHz. That's weird. That's very low for a CPU. It's got 6 gigs of RAM, 2 in one slot, 4 in the other. BIOS date at 2013, very interesting. Yeah, not really a lot in here. Smart battery calibration again. Being a Samsung, I don't think this doesn't actually hold any juice. No. Phoenix Secure Core Tiano BIOS. Average sort of Ultrabook kind of thing. This, I think, is the 2nd Ultrabook I have. Next to the T440S I have. Interesting. It is a Samsung Series 5 Ultra. I don't precisely know exactly what it is. It's something. That's all I know. Yeah. An interesting kind of machine. Now, I do not know if this takes SATA or not, because I think I've got 2 of these. Well, one takes M-SATA, the other doesn't. Anyway, power it off. Yeah, I know for a fact I don't think this battery holds a charge. Samsung batteries are notoriously terrible. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with this machine. So I will come back with the next machine. Alright, so the next computer we're going to take a look at is a ThinkPad. This is a ThinkPad E530C in really rough shape. Now, fun story about this. I used to have one of these as my daily driver. It was awful. It fell apart, and I think the last thing it ever did was fly on with me on a plane to Northern Ireland, and then it died, and then it was ripped apart. A lot of the pieces were scrapped. I kept the motherboard for decoration. I think that's knocking around somewhere at the Ireland house. I'm not sure. This one is my new one. First thing to note is the power button LED doesn't work. That's great. Yeah, it's a ThinkPad. Don't know really what I expected. It's got the legacy BIOS. Keyboard works at the very least. Right, what do we have? These usually ship with an i3. Yep, i3 3110N. That's the exact same one mine had before I upgraded to an i5 my friend gave me. Windows 8. So we have ditched the Windows 7 era. We've now moved into the 8 hardware. I want to say nice things about this thing, but because my old one gave me such a bad vibe, I don't even know why I kept this, if I'm honest. I would have just tossed it away with the rest of the junk machines I'm getting rid of, but yeah, it has something special, because it was one I used to daily. So I think what we're going to do is probably going to clone the drive out of my original 8.1 machine, bung it in here on an SSD, and just kind of relive the memories. I'm going to upgrade it to an i5 as well. I've got an i5 I ripped out of a scrap motherboard, so we'll upgrade it. The bezel's kind of all cracked up. It's broken up top here. It's also cracked down here somewhere as well. It's seen a lot of abuse. I think one of these was when I accidentally hit it with a machine prior to filming, so I think this crack is my fault. Yeah, nothing really to say about this, other than its hinge here works fine for now, but I know for a fact that will break in the future. I'm going to take good care of this, though. I'm not going to look into heavily using it, but it's going to be a nice member of the collection. I'm going to clean up this crap that's on the palm. I'm going to really give this a good clean, replace that sticker, and yeah, I'm going to do things with it. Also, this is the... No, it doesn't. The charger I'm using it's the only charger I have for a ThinkPad at the moment. It's a yellow barrel type one. It's awful. It makes loud buzzing noises. The transformer's obviously broken down due to abuse or just because of the fact it's crap. But yeah, it's fine. I wonder if the battery holds up in this one. Nope. No, it doesn't. Yeah, battery's knackered in this one. That's fine. It's a ThinkPad Edge. It's not a real ThinkPad or whatever the elitists would say. It is in my eyes. Kind of gave me some good vibes. Right, so on the side we've got the audio jack. That's an all-in-one, both headphone and mic. We've got a USB always-on port that's super rusty. Ethernet jack, power ports, the optical drive. I need to be very careful when moving this because the hinges are super weak on this side. That's the vent, which is in one piece, as opposed to my original, which it crumbled. VGA port, HDMI port, obviously can't use them both at once, and 3 USB Type 3 ports. You've also got your nubble, keyboard, buttons, and your main touchpad. That's stiff as hell, that needs to be cleaned. I need to probably put a surgical mask on when I'm working on these, this is disgusting, but like I said, it's just another member of the collection, so I'll shut this up, get rid of it, and move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the next one. This is a HP ProBook 4740S. It is the bigger brother to a ProBook I have in Northern Ireland somewhere. It's a 4540S, that one. This one is its bigger brother. It's got ATI Radeon graphics down here next to the fingerprint sensor. There's your keyboard, there's the touchpad, full-size keyboard, hot buttons for internet and wireless. I don't know why it has a button for the internet. That's what I thought the E was. Evidently not. I need to find a power lead for this. You would have thought I'd have a charger. In the meantime, let's talk about the ports. You've got your a DC jack, that's the fan outlet, HDMI, VGA, Ethernet, 2 USB ports. On the other side, you have got your 2 other USB ports on the optical drive. A very, very thick, well-made laptop. No real complaints there. Where is... This will do the trick. What is this, 65 watt? Yeah, that'll do the job. It's not like I'm utilising the graphics card. This will need a 90 watt brick if I'm going to use it properly. Or higher, because it's got high-end Radeon graphics. I don't quite know what GPU it has, other than a Radeon GPU. So I'm going to just quickly borrow this power lead back off the Samsung charger and see if it works. It should do. Got a white light, that's a good start. HP, press escape for startup menu. Set to legacy boot, and yeah, as thought that was what it would do. So let's go into the BIOS. No. HP is F10. Can I not get into the BIOS on this? Right, let's just do it at once. The escape key. Yeah, BIOS setup, that's what we want. What? That's the BIOS? That's diagnostics. Log into F10 as guest user. This must have some sort of security setup on it. Yeah, I can't turn off some of these features. Is anti-theft turned on? Ooh. Yeah, we don't want that. The last thing I want is being tracked because of... Yeah, I don't need any of this extra security crap. Yeah, I might have to do some digging into this, try and get the BIOS reset, because it's a bit finicky. Other than that, let's have a look at our system information. Enough about the scary bits. i5 3230M CPU, yeah. That's about the extent of it, and 4 gigs of RAM. Doesn't say anything about the graphics card at all. Which is sad, because I wanted to know about it. Device configuration, just going to mention it down here. Switchable graphics, good. So if the GPU fails, I can still use integrated. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, not really too much to mention. It's quite a high-end sort of BIOS, because it's a high-end machine. But that's all I can really do with it. I've also noticed on the front, there is slots for SD card and your audio jacks, and the hard drive lights on the front for some reason. It even has a little HP blanking slot still in there. The amount of laptops where these get lost on is ridiculous. But yeah, other than that, it's just a bog standard office machine. This I think is one of the last of the 3rd gen machines I've got, and then we're moving on into the 4th gen and higher. So that's that. Put this away and move on to the next machine. Man, I am a stickler for 17-inch machines today. This is also another Dell, as you'd expect. I'm pretty sure most e-waste piles just come with Dell. Dell is just the most thrown away machine, and HP. So, what have we got? We've got a Dell Inspiron 17, desktop power to go. Battery lives longer with managed AC charge cycles. I bet it does. Waves Max Audio. Ooh, very fancy. Even more pixels, because it is a huge LCD. This is almost near bezel-less. It's quite nice. Like the previous machine, it's got ATI Radeon graphics and a Core i5. So, we're going to power this up, find out exactly what it is, and see what it is. It's also set to Wi-Fi boot for some reason. I don't want that. It just says Dell. It doesn't actually say what the machine is exactly. It's an Inspiron 3721. So our processor, let's pull that forward so we can see it better. It's a i5 3337U clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. The RAM, 4 gigs. That's way too low for this. This needs at least 8 or 16 to be massively usable. Compute trace is off, thank God. That's the one thing that always jades me about these old business high-end laptops, is that they've probably left the anti-theft features turned on. And I don't know. I know that for a fact that they don't work anymore, but I don't know. It just gives me that weird heebie-jeebie feeling. Despite the fact that this was thrown away, and I merely just picked it out of an e-waste pile, so I'm not really Not illegal in any way. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's quite a respectable machine, quite decent size. Does WEFI, does it do regular, non-secure legacy? Yeah, it does legacy. Yeah, 3rd gen. I thought this was 4th gen. Well, the next machine will definitely be 4th gen. Maybe even higher. But yeah, so this is now Windows 8 sort of era hardware, or the sort of thing that you'd probably install Windows 10 on. Oh no, I didn't actually test the battery out. I think this isn't too old, so this should have a working battery. It also has a DVD drive. Nope, no free discs in this one. What have we got for ports? We've got HDMI, we've got Ethernet, we've got 3 USB type. I think those are type 3. Yeah, 2 super speed, 1 regular. Combined audio ports, your power jack and your vent. And on this side we've got another USB. This one is not super speed, it is regular USB type 2, and we also have the DVD drive, which I don't think is a Blu-ray. Despite the fact this is an Inspiron with high-powered graphics, you would have expected it to probably have a Blu-ray drive in it. At least every other Dell I've had, but the XPSs at least. Yeah, so that's good. I'm going to do a quick test of the battery. Is the battery working? Of course the battery doesn't work. I probably didn't charge it long enough, but hey, that's that done. So with that, we're going to move on to the next machine, which is also tiny. Alright, so the next one is also a Samsung. It's one of those really tiny, crappy ones with that stupid power lead, but thankfully I've got one now. In terms of ports, we've got USB 3.0 super speed, we've got HDMI mini, and Ethernet in the form of a micro USB port. What the hell? We've also got SD card slot. The flap's broken. You can thank me for that. The computer is a Samsung 915S. Very weird machine. There's your fan vent in the back. On the other side, you've got another HDMI display video port out thing. Combined audio and USB 2 and a Kensington lock, because what computer of this era wouldn't have a Kensington lock? On the inside, it's disgusting. Ugh, awful, nasty. It's a Windows 8 or Windows 10 era machine. Comes with side sync, home sync light, whatever that is. Don't know what that is. Is that the processor? Could this be an Exynos-based laptop? It could be, maybe. I'm not sure. Right. Let's fetch the power lead and nick the 3-pin back off the HP. Thank you very much for your service. Yeah, let's power it on. I'm quite eager. I saw a blue light for 2 secs. We've got a green power. Power it on. Blue light. Oh, that fan sounds... Oh, that fan is roached. Samsung. All boot options are fried? Oh, are tried. Press F4 key to recover with factory image using recovery, or any other key for the next boot loop iteration. Yeah, that fan has had it. The bearings in that thing are completely shot. Okay, Control delete. Can we get into the BIOS at least? Oh, what the hell? What in the Windows 8 is this? Samsung BIOS configuration utility. Sysinfo advanced security boot. Well, the clock's very wrong. 2011? But the BIOS is 2013. That's weird. Quad-core processor. 1 gigahertz. 4 gigs. This is a weird computer. I don't know what CPU it's got. It may not even be x86 compatible, which means I may need a newer version. This might actually run Windows, not Windows RT. It's very thin as well. I don't think it will take a regular 2.5-inch drive. This might actually take... This might take MSATA or something. Yeah, this is weird. I like this BIOS screen though. It's got a Windows 8 aesthetic to it. I really, really like this. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah, other than that, not really much to say. Other than that, fan is completely roached. I don't know if the battery works in this either, assuming it has one. But yeah, this is like the weirdest, newest, oldest laptop I've ever touched. Is it a touchscreen? Oh, it is. It's a touchscreen as well. That explains the Windows 8 kind of a thing. This is probably either a Windows 8 or a Windows 10 machine. Judging by the fact it says 2013, I'm going 8.1. Yeah. Very strange machine indeed. No, no, it's probably not going to hold a charge for this long. I'm going to just unplug the power. Oh, it does stay on. Oh, the battery is in here and it works. Nice. Right, I'm going to power this down before I catch some sort of disease off it. Yeah, I'll get this cleaned up, and we will definitely play around with this in the future because I'm very curious as to what it actually is. So I'm going to move on to the next computer and see where we get with that one. Well, I never expected to see an XPS of this modern thrown into e-waste. This is an XPS 13, a Dell machine. The webcam's in a really awkward place. Now, this takes the newer sort of Dell slimline barrel, which I hate a lot. But this does have the added bonus, which my XPS 15 can't. Charges over USB-C. So that's my phone charger, which is also a Dell charger. I'm going to plug it in and see if it does anything. White light. Now this is a 7th generation Intel Core i7 processor. It's flashing all sorts at me now. It is really angry. White, orange, orange, orange. I don't know what white, orange, orange, orange means. It's not turning on. That's sad. Why is it not turning on? It's got a battery. Okay, now it's turning on. Plug in the power. White, power. Screen's not on. Is the screen broken? The screen dead? Makes sense, because I don't think any normal person would throw something this nice into e-waste. Yeah, the screen flashed for 2 seconds. I got power. The white light at the bottom is flashing like crazy, because I don't know what it's doing. It's making all sorts of weird, horrible, squeaky noises. Oh, I got keyboard backlight this time, and then it shut down. Oh, power again, screen flash. What is going on? What is it doing? This computer is possessed. Oh, no way. No way. The screen is intact and it works. I think it was maybe resetting the BIOS? Yes, it was resetting the BIOS. Okay. Oh, touchpad works. Does the keyboard work? If this is like a fully working machine, I am going to be amazed. I don't see anything wrong with this. Of course, there's probably a very deep hidden machine issue. Right, we got 16 gigs of RAM, i7, 7th gen. Can't run Windows 11. It's obsolete, but who the hell cares? This is like prime Linux territory here. This is like going to be the best Linux machine ever. 45 watt I might do catchy on this. Yeah, I might do catchy OS. Yeah. Okay, nice. This is a really, really nice computer in the end. Alright, I don't really need this to work at the moment, and assuming the fact the battery does hold a charge, I'm going to leave this plugged in for a bit. I'm going to let it charge, and I will come back to you with updates. Yeah, we're going to move on to the final computer now. Alright, so this is the final computer in the lot. This is a Lenovo something or other, Yoga IdeaPad. It's Windows 10, or Windows 11, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Okay, I had a feeling it was too good to be true. There is, yeah, it's missing the screen and the bezel and the webcam. Why would someone steal the webcam? Oh, unless maybe they needed the webcam as a part and they couldn't get it out without taking the screen out, and because it's probably trashed, they didn't put it back in. Whoever did it, they were absolute savages because they've left the pull tabs for the screen in. I don't know if I've got a screen that'll fit this. I do have an LCD knocking around. It's not the best, but it is a tiddler. I also have a power lead for this, which is also not the best. But we will come back with the pieces. 2 secs, let me find them. Okay, I'm back. I found the screen. It's tiny. I've also found the power lead. It's one of those universal crap ones. I think this is probably going to go up in smoke, but I really don't care. Because I have nothing to lose. Right, I plugged it into power. I'm not getting a light on the side, so that's probably also a bad sign. Whatever. Press the power button and see what happens. Fans come on. No freaking way. Oh, this is next level. This is like, I can't believe it. I honestly don't believe it. Why would this be thrown away? I mean, obviously it's missing parts, but like, it might still be worth something? Question mark. I mean, it is 10th gen, and we're on like what 15th now, so it's obsolete. So I hate saying that word regarding this hardware. It's not obsolete. It's anything but obsolete. It's perfectly usable, right? So that's a Lenovo V1511L. It's got a Core i5 1035 G1, 1 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, no drive. I don't get it. This should not be working. This should be dead. This should have a bad CPU. This should just be e-waste, like actual junk that I will probably have to recycle. But no, it works. It works. Missing webcam, but I think that's a universal enough part. I might be able to just grab one out of a dead laptop, shove it in there. The bezel, I haven't got a bezel for one of these. I haven't got a screen for one of these. I think the best I've got is a T420 bezel. Just I don't know, slap that on there. This will just be like the Franken laptop. Without any support, the hinge mounts will probably break at some point. I'll probably find some screws in a dead machine to fill in the gap in the meantime, but it is just going to be unstable without those parts, because it's going to be a lot more flexy. But this is stupid. This shouldn't work, but it's working. Yeah. It works. I don't know if the battery holds a charge, but do I even want to risk that? Because it may never turn on again. We may never see this again. Oh, whatever. I don't care. I do have something to lose now. Okay, no, the battery's hosed. That's fine, but I can sort of expect that from a computer that looks like it's been ravaged. I wouldn't be surprised if the battery was stolen. This has probably been at a parts machine and has had bits taken off of it. But at the same time, why? Why would you take parts off this? There's clearly something wrong with it. If you haven't just restored it and sold it, I don't know. All these people are just desperate for parts. Not sure. But yeah, it works. I'm over the moon because we've got both a working 7th gen XPS and a working 10th gen out of this. I mean, yeah, they're nice modern machines ish. But in all honesty, I've found so much cool things along the way. We've got the little white Samsung with the weird processor. We've got the Veo. We've got the Advent. I'd say the MacBooks, but one of them was dead. I'm going to continue mucking around with that MacBook that doesn't turn on. Or take it apart. Yeah, I'll see what's up with it. I'll see if it might be worth fixing. It could be a, I don't know, refurbished Apple one or not. Who knows? But yeah, I'll crank that one open, see what's up with it. Hopefully get it going again. Yeah. So that has been testing junk with me. So far, one bad out of 14 machines, so 13 working computers total. I am amazed. Yeah, I am absolutely flabbergasted. But yeah, that works fine. So power this off. I'll do some further digging in the future with this one in particular. But I think in the meantime, I'm going to go and take that MacBook Pro apart and see if we can do something with it. Alright, this is sort of an epilogue of things. It's a green stickered MacBook Pro, so this has a patched NVIDIA GeForce 8600M in it, so I'm absolutely going to try and fix this. The other MacBook I'm not too sure about, could be a lost cause in the near future, because I know for a fact that ATI GPU will die eventually. I can repaste it, I can probably, give it CPR, help it along a bit. This I'm absolutely repairing, so I'm going to fiddle around with this, and if I end up mending it, I'll put a picture on the end card. So with that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video 3 years from now, because my upload schedule was terrible, but you'll see me soon in the future, so bye.